What is happening, good toy people? This is Down South 77, and this is 3 Star Draw. This is an adult collector channel where we primarily focus on G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe related things. However, today we are not focusing on a G.I. Joe related thing. We're going to be talking about one of Hasbro's other big properties. We're going to be talking about a Star Wars thing. So, just for full disclosure, I don't collect Star Wars figures anymore. I haven't for some time. When they come back out with the Power of the Force 2 line in 95, we were in a drought. Like us kids that grew up in the 80s, that were kids and grew up loving Star Wars, we were going through withdrawals until that line come out. Now, we had gotten a lot of cool books and other lore that was folded eventually into the expanded universe. And then when Disney bought Star Wars, they completely crapped on all of it. But at some point along the way, they kind of thought twice about that idea and they've actually gone back and mined some stuff from it. I'm not even sure what they're calling that time period now. Is it still the expanded universe? I don't know. But where I'm going with this is I was a massive Power of the Force 2 fan when that stuff come out. My room at the time looked a lot like what this room looks like, only Star Wars. That's how kind of diehard I was for that when it was out, and that's also kind of why I waited so long to get into classified because I knew where that was going to lead. So with Star Wars now, I couldn't imagine being a hardcore, diehard Star Wars fan trying to keep up with all of the stuff. Have you ever watched a show like a police show, a action drama show where they dealt with drugs? And specifically, I'm thinking of The Wire because I'm rewatching it again right now, and it is also the best hour-long cop hardcore show that's ever been made, and I'll die on that hill. But if you hadn't watched that, something like it, anything where they talk about drugs, or perhaps if you know something about drugs from other avenues, I'm not here to judge. But you will learn the term stepped on if you don't already know it. It is what drug dealers will do with their supply of whatever, usually heroin or cocaine, and they will cut that with something else. And the point of it is to make it last longer. So they take their original pure supply of whatever it is and they cut it or step on it. And when you step on it, it squishes it out and it makes more, right? So your supply lasts longer and you're watering it down. But I mean, what do you care? You're a drug dealer. So it lasts a lot longer and you make a whole lot more money. Hasbro's stepping on Star Wars right now. Back during that time period I was talking about, we would have been fiends for anything. We were fiends for anything Star Wars we could have got. And that's kind of how it was. And then all of a sudden, by the time the prequels showed up, by the time we got to Revenge of the Sith, we were sick of Star Wars stuff. Like diehard people. I had quit collecting it by the time Revenge of the Sith hit. I had some of those figures, but that was kind of where me buying everything kind of come to a halt. And I couldn't imagine doing it these days with the amount of stuff they're putting it out and the amount of shows and stuff that they're just crapping out. And they're making 100 figures for everything and 10 versions of every figure, and they're stepping on it. So, the figure I'm going to talk about today is this one. This is the Mandalorian figure from the Star Wars Black Series on the retro looking card. And I wasn't even sure what to call this, but it says Black Series right there. So that's how I know it's Black Series. And then you got the picture there, and you got all of a bunch of languages of one. You know what all's on the back of these cards by now. You know what they're doing. So the reason I even have this figure is because I'm making something else out of this figure. I've had this figure for like at least 6 weeks. I was waiting on it to go on sale, and I saw it on Walmart online, and I bought it because I'm doing something else with it. I need part of it for something else, but I figure I've got it. I might as well open it and review it. But I don't really know much about the modern Star Wars figures, and trust me, if I had infinite money and infinite space, I probably still wouldn't buy Star Wars figures at this point. I'd pick up the ones I really liked. I'd pick up some characters I liked, but there's no way. Bill Gates could go broke trying to buy Star Wars stuff if he wanted it all. So I'm gonna get this dude out, and we're gonna take a look at him and kind of check him out and get my impressions of a Star Wars modern figure. All right, before we look at the figure, I had to do a little more research. I didn't come to class prepared. Apparently, the expanded universe is now called the Legends line, and it is non-canonical. So there's still that, even though they're taking ideas from it. And also, the whole time I've had this figure sitting over here by me collecting dust, I've been thinking that this was a figure from the book of Boba Fett. And I was going to spend this whole first part of looking at the figure talking about how I actually like Book of Boba Fett. Although it wasn't what I was expecting or what it should have been, I kind of like the direction they took. It's just not the direction that I think any of us wanted to see. This is a Mandalorian figure, and this is from the season 2, episode 1, when you first actually see him. The episode "The Marshals," where we see Cobb Vanth wearing the armor, and he's at Boba Fett's at the end of it, watching him. That's actually what this is from. That's what the picture's from. The whole time I've had this figure, I was thinking it was a Book of Boba Fett figure. So anyway, we found that out. So now let's look at the figure. All right, so what I did was I went ahead and I heated this. How in the hell do you people that heat the glue ever get this off where it looks good without cutting your finger open or burning it and getting third-degree burns? I always slice the bubble on mine, and I thought, oh, this time I'll actually try to heat it and pull it off. Yeah, this is how it turned out. I'm gonna go back to just slicing the bubble. Actually, I don't even know if I'm gonna keep this card. So it was a nice experiment. Now I know how it turned out. That's why we do experiments. So let's go ahead and take a look at Boba here. And look, y'all, I know it's Boba. I know it's Boba Fett, not Boba Fett. I've been pronouncing it wrong for 40 years. I'm not about to stop now. Just go with it. So we're going to go ahead and get him out. This is his little sniper rifle thing here that he had. Um, okay. It's not, it's a gun. It's got some sculpting on it. It's all brown. The strap's the same color. Oh, the strap moves on it. That's neat. I do like that. You probably get that off of there. It's not bent, so it's not a GI Joe weapon. It's got some silver there on it. Pretty nice little sculpting in there, actually. If you look at it, it's got some detail to it. It would have been nice if they threw some paint on there to accent it, but it is Star Wars. Stepping on it. So here's his gaffy stick, which the first time we saw this, this is before we realized that they were going to turn him into a bitch, and you probably thought that he slaughtered a bunch of Tusken Raiders like Anakin to steal this gaffy stick. How the hell did Boba Fett get a gaffy stick? Well, it's in Tatooine. He had to get out of the Sarlacc, so he's going to encounter some Tuskens. We probably thought that he murdered a family of Tuskens like Anakin did. I do like this. Look, okay, look here. I guess this is what we get with Star Wars. They actually give us some cord and something to attach the cord to. Shipwreck, wolf spotter. You can actually take notes from something Star Wars is doing. All right, let's pull out old Boba. If I say it Boba, it's because I had to think about it. Oh, he's got a little pistol too. I didn't realize, even though that was right there in the front. He's got a little laser blaster there. It kind of looks like in the movies the little guns they use to inject stuff into people's neck. That's what that looks like. Again, there's not a lot to it. It's brown. Got the whole brown earth theme motif going here. This is not a stand. I thought it was a stand. It's got the Rebel Alliance. Is this a credit? Is this a Republic credit? I don't know what this is supposed to be, other than it's got the Rebel Alliance symbol on it. Cool little sculpting in there though. So all right, let's go ahead and. I know that was loud. Sorry. So we'll go ahead and take a look at old Boba here. Got the soft goods cloak, which is the entire reason that I wanted this thing. So we'll go ahead and pull up the hood. That's a pretty cool look. That's the entire reason I wanted this figure was for that soft goods cloak. So I'm assuming you can probably take it off of him. We'll find out. I may have to take the head off, but I don't know. Like I said, Star Wars, I don't do this. I want to get the cloak off of him. Okay, that comes off pretty easily. It's the ghost of Obi-Wan. So actually, underneath the cloak here, he's got some pretty neat paint apps on him. This is like a sandy gray, and this is a darker color gray where it looks like this is worn. This is his little sash here. This is soft goods plastic, and of course he's got the MC Hammer pants. That's what happens when I don't think about my words. MC Hammer pants there. They've actually got some different paint apps on them. He's got a thigh cut. Yep, on both sides. Ankle rocker. Don't have a lot of ankle articulation. Not much at all. He's got rockers back and forth, but he don't have much that way. So do that way. And he's got this holster here, kind of is attached to the leg, and it is attached to this belt, kind of blocks this leg. You might be able to slide it up and get some more out of there, but really, why do you need to? So, does have knee articulation. Actually, that's really smooth. That's a big old fugly joint. But man, that's smooth and that blends in. Huh, maybe we need to get Star Wars team to collaborate with the Joes a little bit. So this has got a nice texture to it. That's my nail scraping over it. He made some marks on it. This is all soft rubber here, or soft plastic. It's actually a pretty good looking figure. Now let's look at his face here. Does that look like Temuera Morrison to you? I can see it, but this is like an Uncle Fester figure. Gomez, Greed. They don't nail the likeness, but I can see it in there. It's like maybe Temuera Morrison's like his cousin on his dad's side, maybe. I don't know. He don't look bad. The paint apps on it look pretty good. They didn't really give him like the scarring that he had on his head. I was hoping for that. I don't know if the glare don't get it. See, he's got the scarring on his head from where he got out of the Sarlacc pit. I was really hoping that would come through. I couldn't tell in the package if it had it on there or not. Actually goes in there like, what the hell, man? How come I have to fight to get Joe guns in their hands? Look at that. That went right in there. Went right in there like your prom date after half a bottle of booze. Pew. Alright, so go ahead and put that in there. And I don't know, like this thing here, like you're not gonna be able to do anything with this. He can't. This is all for show right here. I mean, you might be able to get him to beat somebody to death with it, like he's gonna take a swing at some jaws. Man, wouldn't that be funny if he just like used it like a bat? Now I need a jaw. Just pow, just knock a jaw into the middle of next week. Utini. So you can actually probably bend this enough to get his finger on the trigger there. I'm not even gonna fool with it. It's not to be held. It's to do that right there. So we got him here. We got him standing on the sands of Tatooine that I didn't realize were different color sands when I bought it all, but whatever. It's whatever. So there's this gaffy stick. I like the gaffy stick. The gaffy stick's way better than the rifle. Well, that would have been cool if that was cloth, but that's they could have cut a strip off of that and run on over here, but that's too much. If you ever had to sling a bunch of stuff around your body and you're trying to reach back there and grab one thing, he's gonna be reaching for the gaffy stick and grabbing the gun, and this shit's gonna get all twisted around, and somebody's gonna shoot him. That's what's gonna happen. Cad Bane or somebody's gonna shoot him because he's gonna have all this stuff all mixed up. So I do like the gaffy stick. I did like in Book of Boba Fett though when they finally showed how he got this gaffy stick. That was a long ass convoluted bunch of stuff was showing him with the Tuscans, but again, it was a cool take on it. It just wasn't what we wanted to see. So that actually don't look too bad. There's this not a stand. This is actually not too bad of a figure. I don't know unless you just are a diehard Boba Fett fan, and I know they're out there, um, or you just suckle at the teat of Hasbro and Disney for everything they put out that's Star Wars. I don't know why in the world you actually need this figure. Maybe if you're doing like an actual big desert display or something, and you've got Tuscans and whatever. He's not a bad looking figure. If he stays intact or I put him back intact after I'm done with him, he may get to go on my shelf in the other room that I don't know. I don't know. Do you put him on the good guy shelf or the bad guy shelf? This version of Boba would probably go on the good guy shelf, I guess, because well, I don't know. He was still kind. You didn't know what he was here. He kind of turned into a good guy. I got this thing off. I don't know if I'll ever get it back on him. Maybe I should have put the weapons on with the cloak. Robe, cloak, you know what I mean. Didn't think that through very well, did I? Goes off or comes off a whole lot easier than it goes on. It's been the other way in my experience. I will get this in there and you will see it, damn it. It's like trying to put on a shirt really early in the morning before you're awake good. It's all okay. There you go. It's all bunched up. It's actually a little big, but I guess you would want it to be. I didn't check. Let's see. Doesn't have not much waist articulation there. Forgot to check that. He's got the weird. No, he has a joint down in there. You just can't see it. Like I said, I don't know the construction of these Black Series Star Wars dudes. Don't fool with them, nary a bit. So let's put his stuff on him. It looks way better without without the cloak. There he is. He's wandering through the deserts of Tatooine looking for Gomez and Thing. Man, we need a Star Wars Adams Family mashup. That would be badass. Somebody needs to do that. All right, guys, that's your Boba Fett Mandalorian figure as he appears in first time you see him in actually see more than his I think his feet in the Mandalorian series. Uh, I'm surprised by this figure. It's a pretty good figure. It's just kind of plain and it's you think of Star Wars. It's he's not an alien. He's not a Darth Vader. He'd make a good background character for stuff. But if it's your thing, it's worth picking up. I got this figure for like $8.97 or $9.97 on Walmart.com when I got it. So I've been watching it, waiting on it to go on sale. Like I said, I'm wanting it for something else. He actually stands well. So yeah, pick this guy up if it's in your wheelhouse and you just need extra background characters or whatever. Um, give him a rating. This he's a 3.5. That's that's a better than average rating, or slightly better than average. It's not a bad figure, so I can't really go any lower. He's Star Wars, so he's actually probably got more accessories than what most of the Star Wars characters come with, from everything I hear. So yeah, there he is. Mandalorian Boba Fett with the soft goods cloak that I basically paid $10 for. Yeah, go out and pick him up, guys, if you want. So this has been the review on this guy. I would appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, tell your friends. Maybe we'll do some more fun stuff like this while we're in a lull waiting on G.I. Joes. I kind of not really looking forward for that hammer to drop. But I will see you guys next time on 3 Star Draw. Hey, Bubba, be so heap.